Hey guys, I'm Keith Rutland with Cub Cadet. This is Rick Kaufman with Cub Cadet. I'm the area manager for Oklahoma, and Rick works out of the St. Louis area, and we're just here doing the test drive experience today in Ada, Oklahoma. Tomorrow we'll move on to Norman, Oklahoma. The next day we'll be in Midwest City, and then the next day after that we will be in Owasso. And basically what we have going on right here, as you heard me say, it's the test drive experience with Cub Cadet. And we feel like this way is a good way to get exposure to the Cub Cadet product. Also, you get to test drive it before you buy it. And we've had several customers out here today. I think we've sold 3 so far, and so we've actually have had a good experience already. But as you can see, we've got the lineup with our riders on this side. We've got our zero turn riders on this side. We also have yard machine walk-behinds, and then we also have tillers. So we have a little bit of everything here, and right now is the season to be selling. So we're actually having a pretty good event today, and right now I'm going to hand it over to Rick, and he's going to talk a little bit about the benefits and features of Cub Cadet. Okay, Rick, tell us a little bit about the rider lineup.
Well, basically, if you can start down here at the 1040, which is the entry-level price point for the Cub Cadets, and then you'll kind of move up as you go, basically adding horsepower and deck width to it. But basically, all the Cubs are going to come with certain things. Some of the benefits that they have, some of the features, is basically we have soft touch points. Wherever you're going to be touching is going to be soft, and that allows for a more cut. Okay, basically what we have here is the entry-level price point in the LTX 1040. And as you move up, you're going to go up in engine size, horsepower, and then you're also going to go up in the deck size. So it's going to allow you to mow larger areas in a shorter amount of time. And then we'll move on over into the zero turns, which actually does pretty much can cut your mowing time in half compared to a standard type mower. But Cub has many things to offer. Basically, you got your cast iron front axles, which is going to add durability and longevity to the unit. All of the Cub units here at Home Depot have a Kohler engine in them, and basically if you look at some of the other features on it, you can have soft touch points here, which makes it a little bit more comfortable for the end user as they're using the mower. You also have our seats. Now, they're not vinyl, they're more of a material type. This makes it nice as that you're not going to be if it's a hot summer day, you're not going to be as sweaty as you sit in these things, or if you get off to go get a glass of water or have lunch and you come back and start mowing and you've left that seat down, you can get quite hot. So with the way ours are built and designed, you're not going to have that problem as far as getting burned or being extremely hot as you're riding in it. Extra thick rubber pads down here. We talked about the soft touch points. That all adds to cut down on vibration, which vibration leads to fatigue. So this kind of stops the fatigue from happening and allows them to actually mow a little bit longer before they actually get tired. Our decks have an overlapping blade system on the 2-blade decks here. Basically, we have a 2-inch overlap. So if you've ever heard someone say, hey, I was mowing my yard and left a strip right up the middle that didn't cut, essentially what's happening is some of our competitors have a much smaller allowance for that overlap there, where there's a quarter of an inch or so. Well, we give you a full 2 inches. So if you do make a tight turn as you're mowing, it's not going to leave that strip of grass that's uncut. You're going to be able to cut everything. And with that said, we do have a 12-inch turning radius on the Cub Cadet units. That's a very, very tight turning radius, and it allows you, if you were to, say, put a 55-gallon trash can right here, you'd be able to spin right around that. So if you imagine that being a flower bed with a tree in it, with some landscaping around it, you can see where you can maneuver around that quite easily with a 12-inch turning radius and not have to make multiple passes to get the same job done. There's many features loaded into the Cub Cadet at an outstanding price. All the way up through the line as we go through it. I'm sure I'm forgetting just as many as I'm mentioning, to tell you the truth. But as we said, you start here at the LTX 1040. You move up to the 1045. Basically what's happening is we're going to a larger deck size, and we've gone to a 46-inch deck here as opposed to a 42-inch deck. One thing that we have done is we've gone to a 2-blade system. As we talked about that 2-inch overlapping blade, we've gone to a 2-blade system with the 46-inch deck also. As in past, you would have seen a 46-inch deck many times with 3 blades, but we actually have a 2-blade system. Then as you move up, you go to the LTX 1050, LGT 1054. So basically what you're gaining, as I said before, is a deck size and then in horsepower. As you move up, this happens to be a 24 horse. This is actually a lawn and garden tractor. So you're going to notice on the back of this, you're going to have bigger wheels. Okay, this is made to handle a little bit more workload, if you will, as opposed to the regular lawn tractors. One other thing I want to mention about our decks, which we often we're so used to we're so used to that we often forget about it, but many of our competitors do not have that, even though some are starting to copy. If you look under it, we've got 2 J hooks underneath that are spring loaded. Okay, our decks are easy to take off and easy to put on if you're to compare them to others. So basically, these stay with the unit all the time. You pull these J hooks out, the back unit will drop off, and it's just a matter of pulling that quick pin right there, and the front end drops off. Boom, the deck is off. You can move it out, you can work on it, do whatever you need to do. And then it's just as simple to put it back on. You just hook it up front, lift it up. You know, a little bit of leverage always helps if you have a 2x4 with you, especially with the 54-inch deck. And you pop the spring-loaded clips right back in, you're ready to go. If you look at some other units, you may notice that they may have 5 points where that thing hooks up, and you're talking cotter pins and washers, and we all know what happens if you try to change those out while you're sitting in the grass. You inevitably have to go buy some new ones because you're going to lose them. So that's about our decks. Also with the Cub Cadet decks, here's a good example over here as the pieces on here. The old way of cleaning underneath your deck basically is getting the old putty knife out and scraping the old grass and stuff out from underneath it. Basically what we have here is a deck wash system. This hooks to your garden hose, and then you would put this down right on here. So basically you would turn the water on, have it running, jump on the unit, start it up, engage the blades, sit there for a while, and let it clean the system out. And you would do that every time you mow. It would ensure that you're not getting a lot of buildup under your deck, which can cause airflow problems and not give you as good of a quality of cut if you let that get built up underneath there. So that's another important feature that's a huge benefit to the end user. Like I said, there's so many things built into these Cubs. Such a great value. You're getting so much with these at a very, very reasonable price. Move on over here to zero turns.
Okay, I want to mention one thing, Rick, before we move on, just to kind of add to, because there's, like you said, there's so much to the features and benefits of the Cub Cadets. But we have a 3-year warranty and a 5-year warranty, and pretty much the 3-year warranty is bumper to bumper. So manufacturer defect for 3 years is what you're going to have. The 5-year covers the front axle and the frame. But as you can see, and as Rick mentioned, we probably have some of the best riders in the industry. I mean, very innovative, and main thing is, and the most important, I think, and a lot of people would say that too, is that they're made in the good old USA. So with that being said, we'll slip over to the RZTs. We've got a couple of different models here. We've got a few different deck sizes, and we have them with steering wheels and lap bars.
Okay, it always stands true when you look at price points and you move up through it. You're looking at engine size and deck size, but there are 2 distinct different types of zero turns here. We'll talk about the first one here, which is the standard, which most people are familiar with, but also many people are intimidated by. Basically, this is the RZT-L, L standing for lap bars. One of my personal favorites. Got 2x4 construction right here on the frame. To start the parking brake, all you have to do is put the handles out. Your parking brake is set. Essentially, a zero turn, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to cut that grass, make that tall grass short, but in a hurry. So in terms of time we're speaking, a zero turn can effectively cut your mowing time in half if you're mowing some acreage as compared to a conventional mower. Essentially, you're not having to go back and forth and make these extra wide passes, cut the same piece of grass twice. You basically just go up and you flip right around and come straight back. So hence an extreme amount of time saving with these units. Once again, it has all the features that the standard Cub riders have, but it is in a zero turn platform. One other thing we forgot to mention is the size of the gas tanks. We got 3-gallon gas tanks on these units. Allows you to mow longer without having to stop. So this, once again, has the deck wash system, has everything you need. This one has electric PTO. But this is your typical standard zero turn. And Keith was mentioning that we're pretty innovative, and we are very innovative. This is great, but as I mentioned, some people are apprehensive of getting on it. and they don't think they can do it, when in actuality you can learn how to use this in 10 minutes. Most people are very, very comfortable if they've had some good direction. A good analogy is to the shopping cart analogy. If you can push a shopping cart through the grocery store, you can drive one of these, and essentially that's the movement that you're doing. I do want to point out one thing with our units, with the lap bars that we have, that many of the competitors do not. Many of the competitors, if you're going along and you let go of the lap bars, they're going to stay there and you're going to keep going. Well, that's kind of critical if you're someone that's learning how to do this and you're apprehensive and a little bit scared getting out of it to begin with. With the Cub Cadet units, all you have to do is let go of the lap bars and it goes back to a positive neutral. This unit essentially is going to stop the minute you let go of the handlebars, where others will keep on trucking. So that's a great feature I think that's built into this unit, and very, very important from a safety standpoint. Okay, we looked at the conventional, if you will, zero turn. And here's the innovation. A lot of people look at these and they say, is this really a zero turn? We've been asked that I don't know how many times today. You know, what kind of rider is that? Why is that steering wheel so long? Well, that's a zero turn. That's a zero turn? Well, yes it is. This is actually a true zero turn. It will turn on a dime just like that one will. It'll turn within its own footprint. The only difference is you're actually controlling the steering wheels on this one, or the wheels, front wheels on this one, as opposed to having caster wheels, which are pretty much going to do what they want to do and flop around depending on what the terrain is like. So, you know, both have the dual hydros in the back. Essentially, this is like four-wheel steering because you're controlling the front and you're actually controlling the back wheels also with this steering wheel. Depending on how you turn it, one wheel is moving one way, the other one's moving the other way, what have you, but it is a true zero turn. One key thing, or a couple key things that make this so attractive is those people that are intimidated by the zero turn with the lap bars, they have this option now to make that tall grass short faster, just like you can with this one, because now there's a steering wheel they can do it with. So now they're not afraid to get on the unit, and they'll be able to use it just as they would a conventional mower. Another great thing about the RZT-S is the fact that because you are controlling the front wheels, if you have a slight incline that you have to mow on, where a conventional zero turn, the front end gravity is going to take over, and you're going to be working with that, trying to keep it going straight. Whereas with this one, you can hold that incline, you can hold that little hill, and basically, you know, cut your straight lines and keep going. So huge benefit over that. Both of them make that tall grass short in a hurry and cut mowing time in half. This has been a big hit at these test drive events. Actually, we've already moved one of these out of here today at this particular one, and actually we've been doing these for a couple weeks now, and everyone that I've been involved with, at least 2 to 3 of these have gone out of the stores on every one of those events once people realize that, yes, this is a true zero turn, and it will do what that one does. You know, many more offerings even. You want to add something, Keith?
One thing I want to add to the RZTs is that we have them for everybody. We've got a 42-inch, we've got a 46-inch, and we also have a 50-inch. So it doesn't matter what size your yard is or how big or how small your shed is, we've got an RZT for you.
That is the truth. Now we have much more to offer, and that's not just in the rider categories, but Cub Cadet offers, you know, and also MTD offers just a full line for everything to take care of your needs in the yard. So here at Home Depot, they also have a few of the push mowers. Okay, starting at, I mean, this is your price point, definitely a price point one. You would have to you have to unbolt the wheels to change the height adapters. So this is a lot of people use this just for trimming. That's a throw in the back of the truck and do it around the fence post type mower, if you know what I mean. They don't want to spend a lot of money on it because they know they're going to destroy it or just beat the crud out of it because they're not going to be using it like a mower. They're using it more like a bushwhacker around fence rows and stuff like that. And you kind of move on up onto these things. You can move up into here, and where that's just a side discharge only, this one can be a mulching and a side discharge. Okay, and these are both push mowers. And then you would move up into this one where it's got self-propulsion with front wheel drive on it and a bagger. So basically you've gone to this is a 2-in-1 also because you can either bag or mulch with this one. One thing I can't say about these is even though they're not our flagship name, on these units here we still use our new innovative, or it's been around for a couple years now, the M217 deck, which provides some of the best cuts in the industry. It provides great lift. It's perfectly round up underneath there, so you're going to get a great quality cut even though these might be a lower priced unit push mower. Cub Cadet has tillers. It's tiller season right now. especially if the ground would thaw out a little bit more up north. Well, we're waiting for that. RT65 is a rear tine tiller. It's kind of the best of both worlds, though. It has you can either do forward rotating or counter rotating. So whereas this unit right here is a front tine tiller, but it is only, that was forward rotating. It's a forward rotating unit. Well, forward rotating, you want to use that for taking, say you have a prepared ground already, the ground's already been broken, it's prepared. Forward rotating, you want to use that because it'll take the nutrients and put them back into the dirt. So forward rotating usually work better for after you're putting your crop under, or putting nutrients in, or fertilizers, or lime and stuff like that in your soil to get it prepared for your garden. It will break ground, but if you're wanting to break new ground, that's where the rear tine tiller comes into place, and you really want to be able to chew that ground up faster. Your counter rotating tines is going to be more aggressive and take that up a little bit faster than forward rotating would. But this unit here offers best of both worlds. You're going to break a new plot, you're going to set a new garden. If you got your counter rotating, you're going to break that ground faster to get it ready. But when it comes time, say in the fall comes, and you want to put that crop back under, or you want to put it under to put a fall crop in, you can take your forward rotating. It's going to put all the nutrients back in, till it back under, and do it that way. So this offers best of both worlds. It is an outstanding bulletproof tiller that we've had. We said front tine tillers basically is if you're going and getting into gardening and everything, a lot of people go towards these simply because of the price on them is considerably less than a rear tine tiller. You need to have a little bit of strength to hold on to some of these though, because it's a front tine tiller. Doesn't do all the work for you as a rear tine tiller does. You're going to be doing a lot of this work yourself with this, where the rear tine is going to do it for you. This little jewel here, four cycle cultivator. A lot of people get it confused as a tiller, though it is very, very capable, and it can break unbroken ground and really do a good job at tearing it up. This is actually made for what is called a cultivator. It's made for cultivating between your garden rows, going through and getting those weeds out, working with soil that has already been previously broken and worked, and it'll cut through it and make it fine. So that will work great with that. So a lot of people, if there's a trend with a lot of raised gardens, if you will, raised bed gardens, so people are putting already, good soil already in there. It's already loose and everything. This does a great job of aerating that and annuitying through those applications also. Outstanding little unit. Once again, I mentioned that it was a 4-cycle. Typically, when you see things like that, you think, oh, that's 2-cycle. I got to mix my gas and my oil. With this one, you do not. This is a 4-cycle. It takes straight gas. Okay. Another offering here. We're glad to see this in here. There's this little trim mower right here. It's a little beast. It will tear things up, and it'll get the job done. Needless to say, granted, a lot of people it's kind of got specific needs, but we found that a lot of people that have like the ditches along their property and stuff like this really works good for getting down to those without having to bend your back over and work with messing with a regular string trim and a lot of those applications. But the little trim mower here, very, very tough and an outstanding little unit also. As he mentioned, the Cub Cadets. 3-year warranty. These all have 3-year warranties on the Cub Cadet units here. With the yard machine, they're sitting at a 2-year warranty on them. So basically that's this lineup here, but this is not all the offering that Home Depot has. On HomeDepot.com, you have a much wider array of products that you can offer from Cub Cadet. So the customer, like as Keith was saying, there's a mower here for everybody. Home Depot can provide a mower here from everybody from Cub Cadet, whether you got a gate that only a 42-inch rider will fit through, or you've got a gate you can fit a semi through. We can take care of your needs. So that's about it. Thank you for your times, guys.
Hope you guys have enjoyed the training experience. And with that being said, we're just going to let you guys know that it's getting a little cloudy here. Sun's trying to break through every now and then, and we're going to wrap it up probably here in about an hour or so.